Thanks for joining us here on the Bearcat Sports Network. It's part two of our 2019 McKendree baseball season preview. We're joined by head coach Danny Jackson. Coach, we've already previewed the Bearcats position players. Let's go ahead and talk about the arms on the mound for McKendree in 2019. First, looking at the starters, a good mix of guys that have come back, some newcomers, and some guys in different roles. You've got a guy like Andrew Jancic, who basically pitched at the back end last year, is coming on as a starter. Levi Brenning, who pitched some big innings for you last year, and then a couple of newcomers. Let's talk about the starters.
Yeah, so, Andrew did a phenomenal job, as a closer or a long reliever, whatever we used him at. And then towards the end of the year, he was a guy that could hold his pitch count longer, and he was getting better as the game went on, and his pitch count got higher, and we said, well, we need to start him. So we did that towards the end of last year, and guys still weren't hitting him. So we're really excited. He's improved in every facet on the mound. So, in my opinion right now, he'll be our number one guy. Very, very tough to hit, especially for right-handers, just because he comes from a lower arm slot. So I'm excited to get him back on the mound in a starting role since he knows what it is. His pitch count's getting there. Having Levi Brenning healthy for a year will be, a godsend. It really will. You see the body of work he had in 3 outings. He beat 2 of the better teams in, our conference, 2 regional teams. So having him there is going to be huge just for the presence of our pitching staff. And then you've got 3 other guys, maybe 4 guys that I feel like could be the 3, 4, 5 starters. Connor Gillis has looked outstanding so far this spring. He's added a couple breaking balls to his fastball change repertoire, and his fastball's gotten better. His stamina's gotten better, and his mindset's gotten better. So he's going to get an opportunity to start game 2 this weekend. Jancic and Brenning will split game 1, and then we've got a young guy named Ryan Bogue, freshman, who will go game 3. Ryan has electric stuff. He really does. He's got a chance to be really special. So we're looking forward to watching him grow this year and really go out and compete. And then you got guys like Jared Timmerman and Jeff Withers. Jeff's a 6'6" freshman from just down the road with Alto, 4-pitch mix guy. He's got a lot of life on his pitches. And Jared Timmerman, a guy from Kaskaskia, was their number 1, can really pitch. Just 4-pitch mix, can throw a fastball anywhere he wants. We're just trying to get his pitch count built back up. He had a little setback, so we're hoping to throw him an inning or 2 this weekend and then build him back up moving forward.
Looking at the long relievers for the Bearcats, several familiar faces coming back from last year, guys like Jake Brinkmeyer, Luke Van Landingham, Brian Christensen, and then some new guys. Talk about the mix there in long relief for the Bearcats.
Yeah, long relief, I think Craig Gilo has been one of the most improved arms we have currently. His stuff's gotten better, his ability to locate off speed and change up, which he didn't do very well last year, or what's going to give him an opportunity to throw a ton for us. Nick Beeler is just the definition of a competitor on the mound. He's got a big-time breaking ball, and he can mix his fastball in and out whenever he wants. So I think those 2 guys are going to be a big help in the long relief role. We also got Ricky Hernandez, who got what I like to call a rubber arm. He can throw as much as you need him to, whenever you need him to. And then you got Luke Bellandingham, who I think has the type of stuff to be in the mix to talk about a starting role. But right now I think he serves us best in the long relief role, maybe come in for a guy that's struggling, or if a guy's pitch count's high, we can bring him in and he can eat up some innings. Brian Christensen, was one of our better arms 2 years ago, tore his UCL, so last year was kind of a build back year for him. His stuff's improved. I just want to see him go out and compete. That's what we're looking for from BC.
Towards the back end of the Bearcats bullpen, a couple more familiar faces, including Drake Hampton, who you alluded to in the first part of our preview, a guy that really came out of nowhere on the mound. You talked about it being an experiment. He's become the de facto closer for the Bearcats, as well as some other guys you can mix and match in later innings. Talk about the short end of the Bearcats bullpen.
Yeah, so I really like the way our bullpen's stacking up, especially the short guys. We feel like we could bring guys in for a hitter, an inning, and just go back to back to back to back with guys that we're confident are going to come in and go right at guys. Ryan Moore is a guy that we had in the starting rotation. We had him in long relief. He has added some big-time depth to his breaking ball, and his changeup's outstanding, and his fastball is jumping out of his hand. He's a guy that comes in and just pounds the strike zone. So we're looking for 7th inning for him, maybe 6th inning, whatever it is. But he's a guy that can throw back-to-back days. So that's really big for us in that short relief role. Same thing with Logan Zachary. Logan's stuff's much improved. He's always had that bulldog mentality. So we're excited that he's continuing to get better, and he's going to help us out in that role. Bryce Emery Another dual guy. He's got a low 3/4 slot, fantastic slider. He's tough to hit, especially for right-handers. He's another guy that's going to fill that role. Cal Cusina, low 3/4 slot, ball moves all over the place. He's another guy that we're going to use in the short relief role. And then you got, Adam Bunnell and Drake Hampton, who I think are going to be our back-end guys. Adam's got electric stuff. We just need to get him a little bit better as far as staying in the moment and not getting too revved up. What you want in a closer, you want him to be revved up, but you also want him to be able to hone it back in and get locked in and get where he needs to go. So stuff-wise, he's got electric stuff, and he's not far from getting to that elite mindset. And Drake's just a competitor. That's why I want to give him the ball in the ninth, because I know he's going to go right at guys and compete. We saw that last year. He pitched out of necessity last year, and then we're looking at each other in the dugout like, why didn't we have him in before? So, those two guys I think are going to do a good job at the back end, but I feel confident in putting any of those guys in the ball game when we have a lead or to hold us where we're at.
Coach, and looking at the pitching staff and the makeup of this pitching staff, it's really crucial to have guys that can define multiple roles, especially the way the GLVC will play out this year with the new 3-game weekends and plus some midweek doubleheaders sprinkled in. It's imperative that you get guys that can go the distance and sprinkle some guys in there that can give you those matchups where you can come back with a guy from Tuesday on a Sunday perhaps.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the biggest thing for the pitching staff is they've got to continue to push each other to raise the bar for each individual guy. I know some guys are short relievers that want to be starters, but if they're willing to accept the role they have and be the best at that role, they've got an opportunity to expand their role or maybe fill in as a starter or maybe earn that. So what we're working on is be the best competitor in whatever role you're in, and then you might see your role expand. So I think we've done a really good job of that so far this spring. I know it gets a lot tougher when we're playing somebody else, but I am anxious to see what these guys can do on the mound because I don't think people are going to expect much from them outside of our team, because I do, and so does Clint, our pitching coach.
Coach, in our first preview, we talked about the position players. We've now talked about the pitchers. Let's talk about 2019 in general. What are your expectations? What are your keys for this year's team?
Well, first, I really just want to thank Clint Stroud and Andrew Stepp for the work they put in with these guys. I've given Andrew the complete reins to the offense. He's done everything with them, and they look outstanding. They're taking the borderline pitches to get that mistake, and then they're smashing the mistake when they get it. So very, very happy with the job that he's done, and Clint's done an outstanding job with our pitchers as well. Those two have given me the ability to kind of just float around and get to be with everybody, and I can't say enough about what those two have done for the player development for our guys. I'm excited to get going. We're not going to look ahead to the end of the season or where we want to be or where we expect to be. We're going to take it day by day and try to be the best competitive team each day that we can. And if we can do that, I think we'll look back at the end of the season and be pretty happy with where we're at.
Well, Coach, thanks for helping us preview the 2019 baseball team. Good luck this season.
Thanks, Scott.
Don't forget you can follow McKendree Baseball all season long online at the internet home of the Bearcats. That's www.mckbearcats.com.
Go Bearcats!